Jade City by Fonda Lee. I read this book a couple of years ago, and at that time it didn't vibe with me. Maybe I read it in a rush, or I didn't fully grasp what Lee was going for, because rereading it now, this book is truly amazing. Lee described the book as the Godfather with magic and kung fu, and I don't think you can get a better one-sentence description of the book. The book is a crime novel set in a world where you can get superpowers from Jade. The story takes place on the island nation of Kekong, where Jade is mined. We are following a family, the Nopi clan, as they strive to survive and stay relevant in an ever-changing world. The setting is semi-modern. There are paintballs and cars, but there are no computers. 1950s to 1960s feel. The Nopi clan are greenbones, people native to Kekon, and that can wear the jade without major side effects. With jade, anyone can be granted powers, but it acts like a drug. The more jade you use, the more powerful you become, but the greater the repercussions are. It is very easy to die from jade overexposure, and when you take the jade off, it is described as a feeling of withdrawal. A magic system that works like a drug. I'm in for it. There are three main characters we follow, siblings. The oldest brother, Lan, the newly appointed pillar of the clan. As pillar, you are leader of the clan, and he has very much to live up to, as his grandfather is the legend of Kekon, and the book explores the immense pressure he is under. Then we have Hilo, the younger brother to Lan. He is the Horn, leader of the warriors of the clan, hot-headed and maybe too eager to throw a punch, but he is immensely loyal to the clan and his brother. All he wants is to protect his family and make them prosper. And last Shay, the youngest sibling. She wanted to get away from the clan and forge her own path, which Lan accepted and helped her do, and Hilo resented her for it. She has recently returned to Kekon after living abroad for a couple of years in the nation of Espenia. These are our main characters, so let's talk about the world they live in. The world building of this book is just phenomenal. You really get the sense that Fonda has thought about this world for a very long time, especially the town of Yanlun, where most of the book takes place. You can almost hear the cars in the street, the people talking, the businesses blooming, and the smell of the food in the air. It feels lived in, fully realized. And then you have the world building of the jade itself. You get the sense there are hundreds of years of history in the land. There are legends about the jade, its uses, and how it came to the world. And it all feels real. There is a sense of mystery to how the jade works, as we never get a proper explanation of how they get the superpowers from the jade. But it doesn't matter. We don't need it. To the people of Kekon, the jade is just a part of life. It's not magic. It's almost science to them, as they have developed a lot of systems and ideas about it, as there are some people who are even immune to the powers of the jade, and they're almost a social class in of themselves. I get the sense that Fonda has a long history book about the world in her head, and probably a full travel guide to Kekon itself. The pacing of the book is excellent, and you can feel a slow ramp of tension, like a rope being pulled tighter and tighter, hearing the strains of it as some of the fibers crack until snap! It breaks, and all hell breaks loose. From here on, it's going to be full on spoilers, interwoven with my thoughts and ideas. Preface that these are my own ideas and my own thoughts. I probably missed some things in the book, but I talk about the things I found most interesting. For a very short review of the book, if the sentence "The Godfather with Magic and Kung Fu" intrigues you, then read it. I fully endorse this book and I look forward to reading anything Fonda Lee writes after this. Spoilers from here on. 3, 2, 1. A big theme in the book, as I see it, is globalization and the effect it has on nations. The book is set after the Many Nations War, which I read as a world war. And now Kekon is struggling with what can be seen as a modernization. In many passages in the book they talk about outside influences coming to the island, like cars and music. Shay studied abroad and dated a foreigner from the land of Espenia for a while. This leads into the well-worn trope of someone that tries to get away from the mafia family, but gets dragged back in. She tries to step away from it all, even when she moves back to Kekon, but slowly she's dragged back into the family business. A part of her wants nothing to do with it, but there is an unspoken want to step back, to work with her brothers again, and use the power you have as a member of the non-P clan. There is some remark she makes about she could make one simple call to her brother, and all red tape and all bureaucracy would be instantly removed from her. But back to globalization. There is one scene where the topic of globalization comes in very strong. A drug has been developed where ordinary people can use the jade easier and with much less side effect. And the rival clan, the Mountain Clan, wants to become the full owners of the drug and the jade itself. Their reasoning for doing so is that if they control the jade and the drug, they can keep Kekon safe from foreign powers that want both of them. They know that they cannot keep jade inside the island. Smuggling has been going on for a very long while. Both clans have been trying to stomp down of it, but it won't stop. Not when jade is so valuable to anyone outside the island. So, they want to sell the jade and the drug under controlled circumstances. The power of the jade was one of the reasons they didn't get conquered during the Many Nations War. And the foreign powers of the world knows this, and they want it for themselves. There is a talk that a nation in the world are training some super soldiers to use the jade itself, and they use the drug to help in the training. The Mountain Clan wants to unify all of Kekon under their own banner. During the Many Nations War, the No-P clan and the Mountain clans were unified in the war against their enemies. It's in peace where they have become divided. In a way, the conflict with the other nations never truly stopped. The war did end, but they still want the power of the jade. Instead of warring for it now, they will trade for it. And to stand strong against them, the Mountain clans want a united Kekon. This leads to one of the great strengths of the book. You can understand everyone's motivations. When they explain themselves, you just go, I see where you're coming from. You don't always agree with their methods, but they're rational people trying to do the best they can in a harsh, cruel world. But are the clans themselves good? They keep a strict control of the jade, and they don't want anyone else to use it. They see themselves as the wielders of the jade, and it's too dangerous for anyone else to use. And when the drug is developed, they scorn it. They don't want to give ordinary people the powers they have. It's their birthright, and it's from the jade they get the powers to shape society. A might makes right mentality. But the clans do help ordinary people, or at least the people who are inside the district. The town of Yanloon is divided between the Mountain Clan and the No Peak clans, and some districts of the town belongs to certain clans. Living inside the districts are protected by the clans and pay tribute to them. But if you live in one of the border districts, or God help you, in one of the districts where there is both clans claim control, that is one of the most dangerous places to live. There the ordinary people are under the whims of the pillars and the hands of the clans. Sometimes you have to pay double tribute to both the clan and the No-Peak clan. And when one day suddenly the other clan takes over, you have to swear loyalty to them. Back and forwards, back and forward. Just imagine the anxiety of living in such a system. You have no control of who your boss is from day to day. To the clan, loyalty is everything. And if you live on the borders, you cannot be trusted to be loyal. But it's the clan who decides where the borders are. So they decide what loyalty really is. At several places, the book also comments of the inherent sexism and the patriarchal structure in the society of this world. We see this mostly from Che. One big example is when she is thinking back to her childhood and remembers what an absolute monster the weatherman was. If the horn is the right hand to the pillar, the weatherman is the left hand. They take care of the businesses that the clans control and make sure that the money flows into the clan. The weatherman, Doru, is introduced early into the story, and both Land and Hilo don't like him. Doru has been the weatherman as long as anyone can remember and is a very close friend to their grandfather. They comment on that he has had many secretaries, but that is all the male characters talk about. It is Shay who explicitly says that he has been abusing his secretaries, taking photos of them in compromising situations against their will. But nobody is doing anything about it. They let it slide or push it under the rug, because he is a good friend to their ailing grandfather and is untouchable. He is the old guard. Another example is Hilo. He is trying his best to save the clan, and he does love his brother and sister very much. But I find that there is an undercurrent of sexism in him, how he talks about Shay. To him, she abandoned the family, and he can't understand why she would want to leave. At a point in the book, he speculates that she has returned to Kakon to gain pity from the family. We can also look at his wife. He doesn't want her to be involved with the clan business. He asks the weatherman to find her a simple job somewhere, but nothing too dangerous or too involved with the clan. He never comes out and says this directly. His reasoning is that she doesn't need to be involved and just can take it easy. But I think there is something in him that says only men can take on the full responsibility of the clan. There are some other women that are mentioned that are fingers, the foot soldiers of the clan, but even Hilo comments that they have to work extra hard to be where they are. Another theme in the book is, can you escape the system? It involves around Shay and Andon. Shay wanted to go away and live her own life from the family. But can you just walk away from their family, your privilege and culture, and leave it all behind? She tried it in Espinilla as she moved there and studied. She wanted to get something that was her own, that she couldn't get on Kekon. But she talks about that if anyone found out where she came from, or God help her if anyone found out what family she came from, everything changed after that. Everyone saw her as an OP clan member and nothing else. No one could see the person Shay. Even when she comes back to Kekon, she tries to live outside the system. But it's the same here. The moment someone learns what family she came from, she gets all her privileges of her family. And slowly she gets intoxicated with the powers of it. The power to cut through bureaucracy, to be untouchable, almost do anything that you want. If she tried hard, she could probably stay outside the family for a long while. But that would mean she would leave her brothers behind and cutting herself off from them. And she didn't want that. She wanted to be in her brother's life while standing outside the family, which is an impossible tightrope to walk. And then we have Andan, the cousin of the siblings, a student of the academy and about to graduate in a couple of months to become a finger of the clan. Lan, the pillar, assures Andan that he doesn't have to work for the clan when he graduates, but all Andan wants is to fight for the family that took him in. All he can see is the debt, and the one way he can imagine repaying it is by becoming a fist for the clan. Escaping the system is not even in his world until the end of the book, when he gets to see the raw brutality of the clan and almost dies. Only then he wants to get out. We will see in Jade War how it goes for him, but I fear that there will be no happy endings for him. Hilo seems to be the only one that has accepted that you cannot walk away from it. He embraces the system fully, to the point where he gets blind to the flaws of it. Shay wanted to be outside of the system, and Lan tries to ensure everyone that you can walk away from it. But Lan, as the pillar, is cracking under the immense pressure, which is so wonderfully symbolized in one scene in the book. When you are a green bone and fight another green bone, you get to take their jade from them, and you should wear it. And as the pillar, Lan should wear as much jade as he can to show the strength and prosperity of the clan. But remember, jade works like a drug, and everyone has different tolerances to how much jade they can wear. Everyone knows this, but the system doesn't care. So Lan has to wear all the jade that he can, and he gets angry and anxious. All the scenes with him afterwards, he wears the jades. You feel so sorry for him. It goes to the points where you have to start taking the drug to be under control, to keep up appearances for the clan. So many contradictions of what you cannot do and what you should do. And in the end, the pressure gets to him. He cracks, and he dies. One last red thread I will talk about. It's passing the torch. Cole, the grandfather, fought in the Many Nations War and got the title of Torch of Kekon. Everyone sees him as the reason they didn't get conquered in the Many Nations War. The current system with the clans, the pillars and the hands, the weathermans and the fingers, it is all very new. And now his grandchildren are inheriting the system and everything that he built. His son died earlier, so he had to be the pillar for a very long while, until his grandchildren were old enough to take over. It is immense pressure on them all, and they are feeling it, and you can see the cracks form in them. When Hilo becomes the pillar, there is a moment he thinks he is not ready for it. Brother is dead, and everything is wrong. It was never meant to be this way. Lan was meant to be the pillar, Hilo the horn, and Shay the weatherman. I think he resents Shay a little bit, that if she didn't go away, none of this would have happened. Regarding Anden, he is mentioned that he is queer in the book, and I wish there was a bigger exploration of that. He hasn't come out with it to people, and the only one that seems to know it is Hilo. There doesn't seem to be an open hostility to queer people in Kekon, but it is not something we talk about. But I wish there were more talk about it and more queer characters in the book. Maybe in Jade War or Jade Legacy. Some closing thoughts. The book is very well paced, but I feel towards the ending it loses some steam. The ratcheting of the tension keeps going and going, but after Lan's death it loses some momentum, which could be a deliberate decision, as after that they are going into war. And much of war is kind of boring from day to day. Yes, things happen, there are meetings, there are conflicts, but you don't get the sense that much change from chapter to chapter. People make decisions, hard decisions, things they regret. And at the end of the book, everyone is standing on a knife's edge. No one has the most upper hand, and people are leaving, and people are sad. But I do love this book, and I cannot wait to read Jade War and Jade Legacy.